Hi, my name is John. I'm from San Diego, and we're doing mashed potatoes today. Simple mashed potatoes. What you need is you need to get some good, regular potatoes, but they need to be the loose ones. Don't buy the big bags because you end up wasting a lot of them. And what you look for is you want one firm and it's heavy for its weight. It's the things you really want to look for. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to peel these now, and if you can actually do this a day ahead of time and put them in water. If you want a creamy mashed potato, you don't want to put them in water too far ahead of time. But if you want a fluffier mashed potato, if you put them in water, they actually lose some of their starch. So they'll get a little fluffier. Depends on what you like. When you peel them, you want to make sure that you get every little blemish out. The potatoes have these little things, I call nooks and crannies, and you want to make sure you get those all out so you get a smooth potato. It's very important when you make mashed potatoes that there are no blemishes on them. As you see, this one has little black blemishes on it. There's nothing wrong with it. You just have to gouge it out with your peeler here. Gouge out these little blemishes here. The reason you do this is because the potato needs to be perfect when you make mashed potatoes. If not, it can actually turn your potato a darker color. You'll get the little impurities inside. So you just want to go through you got to peel. You don't want to leave any skin on or anything to make the nice, simple mashed potatoes. They need to be just perfect. Okay, once your potatoes are peeled, you want to rinse them off one last time. Same thing under cold water. Make sure there's no little pieces of skin or anything on top of them. You want a nice white, almost like it came out of a magazine potato when you make your mashed potatoes. Okay, your next step is now to chop the potato. I like to halve them first. Okay, then you want to go ahead and cut them in as even a pieces as possible. Because when you cook these, you want them to cook evenly. So you try to make all your pieces of potato the same size. So we're going to do fourths today. That's it. Once your potatoes are peeled and quartered, you need to make your blanching liquid. You want to add 4 tablespoons of salt and about a tablespoon of black pepper, 2 bay leaves, and 3 cloves just smashed. Just get the end of a knife and smash them. And you're going to pop them in. And you're going to want to fill this with water just so it covers the potatoes. Just covering the top of your potatoes. They also should be submerged in water. You don't want any popping up or anything like that for them to cook evenly. Just cover them and then pop them over high heat until they boil. Once the potatoes come to a boil, when they're fork tender is when they're ready to be mashed potatoes. So you're going to pop a fork in them. When the fork comes out, then they're ready. If they still stick to the fork, they're not ready yet. Potatoes are done when you stick a fork in them. As you can see, I stick a fork in it and it just falls right out. The fork won't pick it up. You just stab them, and the fork doesn't pick it up. They fall right out. Okay, then you want to take your potatoes off the fire. Pour them out into your strainer there. And then what you want to do is fish out the bay leaves. And you always count the garlic before you put them in, because I put 3 garlic in here. So there should be 3 garlics in here to fish out before I grab them. Get the potatoes off the heat and take out your little herbs that you put in there. What you want to do is you want to start with your butter. And you want to start with about a stick of butter. And you want to do about half of it. This is 6 potatoes. So we're figuring we're cooking for 6 people because you want to use 1 potato per person if you're making mashed potatoes. So you go ahead and just give it a good beating. And I always like to use cold butter when I do this, not warm butter. I think it just gives you a better texture of the potato. Just a little at a time. So we were to put 1 stick of butter in. And one of the biggest problems people have when they make mashed potatoes is they overbeat the potatoes. So you don't want to. That's the only thing you have to be careful with when you do this. We want to put about in 6 potatoes about a half a cup of milk. They should have a fluffy consistency. That's what you're looking for. So we're going to add a little more. These look like a little more butter to me. So we're going to add a little bit more. We're going to go probably about 1 more half stick of butter should be enough. And then you don't want to salt and pepper them until they're done, till you mash them all. So what's going to happen is at the very end we're going to fold in some sour cream on top. And if you season it now, you could ruin the dish by over seasoning. It might come out a little too salty. You always want to try all your food too, because you're seasoning it all the time as you make it. So we have it's perfect. Like I said, you don't want to overbeat it. We're gonna add a little sour cream. You want to do on 6 potatoes, I would say probably 2 heaping tablespoons. 8 tablespoons. Excuse me. 2 heaping tablespoons should do it. All food is like people. We're all different sizes, we're all different shapes, everything else. So the recipe is just a guide. A lot of times you need to add a little more butter, depending on what the potatoes are, and you need to add a little more sour cream, or you need to add a little bit more milk. It depends on where you buy your potatoes, where they were grown, the time of the year, everything else. So this is just a guide. The best is your palate is always the best. You taste it, they taste good, you're ready to go. That's all you need.